Today I messed up by laughing at a guy who got his arm ripped off at work. Well, this is gonna be a rough one. I'm still reeling from shock of this whole situation. I work in a factory with a large number of large machines and such, and on any one day we have numerous accidents, not due to equipment failure, but more so the lack of attention put on the actual jobs themselves. So it's not unusual to see someone's hand ripped open from an accident on the job. There's probably 12 guys on the night shift crew, which is the first mistake here. That number is drastically low. This is an 8,000 square foot factory, and 12 guys, including myself, run it all and train new hires. Well, tonight of all nights, we had 3 guys call out, and I had to train a new hire, only having been there a month myself. So we're horrendously understaffed for a system that runs incredibly fast. And on top of all that I have, probably one of the most unaware and idiotic people I have ever met. And when I mean idiotic, I mean this guy was stupid. He probably would have eaten a rock if I told him it tasted good. We get maybe an hour into the shift as I'm training him, and I work with a very large system of presses, metal presses with belts that run them, and these belts are up to 3,000 RPMs. So as we work, he's helping me, and I'm giving this guy the simplest task possible to avoid an accident. Then one of the supervisors comes in and finally gives me a rundown, and in 30 seconds or so, we are taking this new hire over to the belts, and I believe he tried to grab a piece of cloth or something behind it, failing to realize that the machine is running. And as he's grabbing the cloth and pulling it out, the cloth catches on the belt and rips his arm off, like clean tear right around the mid bicep. I immediately rip my belt off and wrap it as tight as I can around this dude's arm to stop him from bleeding out. I call code over the radios and everyone runs over. Now here's where things get really messed up on my part. All this guy could think about was the gas prices as he's bleeding out. I'm gonna have to stop working and the gas prices are gonna be ridiculous. Well, this supervisor that I was talking to comes over and he kicks the dude's now severed arm and says, well, gas is really costing people an arm and a leg now. And at this point, I'm so nervous, I just burst out laughing. I don't know what came over me, but I just started hysterically laughing. So I'm sitting there holding this dude's arm, belt around it, and my feet on the other side of the belt, pushing it to get as much force on the artery as possible, laughing like a psycho, and lo and behold, the plant manager comes around absolutely enraged because he only heard me laughing and walks around to find the situation. So I'm probably gonna lose my job. They sent everyone home on a paid day off. I'm currently on administrative leave until further notice. The guy made it to the hospital in one condition, all things considered, I was told. There's a lot of questions I have, but mostly, why on earth would they allow someone who's new around this dangerous of equipment? The place this original poster works at sounds entirely unsafe. I mean, there has got to be so many OSHA violations, it's not even funny. If you don't know what OSHA is the organization that prevents this. It prevents people from losing their arms. And this situation clearly has some OSHA violations. I mean, that's absolutely unacceptably dangerous. The fact that this is happening on a regular basis is proof enough that my man needs to get another job. Get out and get out fast. And I don't blame him for laughing. I probably would have started laughing too. Maybe not out of anxiety, but maybe out of just pure trauma. This guy's arm is sitting probably 3 feet away as you're trying to press down on his artery to prevent him from unaliving. That's pretty traumatic. The original poster goes on to say that no, they were not able to reattach this guy's arm, but he did say how they did report this to OSHA. It doesn't sound like anything's gonna come from it though. And even worse, this guy goes on to say how he's not gonna leave this job because he says it's, quote, a fairly safe job. No, my dude, this is not a safe job, and you absolutely need to get out before you lose your arm.
The full version of this story is on the Am I the Jerk YouTube channel, and there's a link to that down below in the description. And if there are any updates to this story, they'll be there in the same link. I'm sure by now a lot of you guys realize that a ton of these stories are actually submitted by you, the person listening. And there's no special requirement to submit a story. You yourself could submit a story right now if you wanted to. It can be completely anonymous. In fact, that's encouraged. And that way you can freely and openly share the most juicy secrets of your entire life if you want to. So how do you do it? Just go to AmITheJerk.com/submit. Make sure you read the rules before posting, but that's it. You just go to AmITheJerk.com/submit, read the rules, and post your story. Then you can check back on future videos to see if your story made it or not.